Hey, and welcome to another edition of the Wake Up Late with Dougie show. I am your host, Dougie Almeida, coming to you from Simpsonville, South Carolina. We appreciate you joining us today. Here on the show, we got a great show. We got a great guest. We got some fun stories. And as usual, it'll be entertaining. It's an hour long, for God's sakes. And I'm excited. I'm actually going to be in Vegas this week. So if you're in Vegas, come to the LA Comedy Club on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Stratosphere. I'll be competing in the World Series of Comedy. Also on Friday and Saturday, I'll be at the Las Vegas Live Comedy Room with Edwin San Juan. Come out there. Go to DougieAlmeida.com. Going to be going to Vegas. Can't wait to go to Vegas. But hey, what a great way to start the week for me by having a great guest here. One of the funniest comedians I known and have ever known, and just a great dude. Everybody, big round of applause for our special guest today, Mr. Jimmy Shubert. What's up, buddy?
Hola, mi amigo. Hey, hola.
Boy, you've been in Florida too long, man. You're speaking Spanish now.
Well, no, bro. It's just, you got to use the language. I really don't have that unless I go to Home Depot. I really don't have the chance to use it as much as I'd like to.
Yeah. I was figuring you've been in Florida now. It's been a little over a year, right? You've been in it's been a year.
Yeah, a little over a year. I actually, it's amazing. I probably had more auditions here than I've had in Los Angeles in the last 4 years.
Really, acting on? Yeah, nice.
What's that?
Yeah, acting auditions you're talking about there in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I was, yeah, it's interesting because it's just a different way to do it because no one's doing anything in person now anyway. So everything's via, you videotape it on your iPad and upload them to Vimeo and then send links so they can watch the audition. But one way around, I guess a lot of people have left Los Angeles, so they've kind of just, when you slate now, you got to tell people where you're at. But a lot of the productions have moved filming to Atlanta, Georgia, which is, as you know, on this coast, and it's right up the road a little bit, maybe like a 2-hour flight. And so it's interesting. There's 60 to 80 television productions being shot in Atlanta right now, because they got a 40% tax break. But also, I mean, it seems like where everybody's at. I mean, they're hardly, I guess they're still doing some stuff in Los Angeles, but it's nice that it's spread out kind of a little bit,
Well, yeah. I mean, Florida was a big spot, and then they got rid of that tax credit. Then Georgia took it over and took advantage of that situation, and everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't know why they got rid of it, but they did. And so, but yeah, they used to film a lot of stuff here. I actually did a movie down here many years ago that got me into the Screen Actors Guild. I got Taft-Hartley into the guild, and that really kind of changed the trajectory of my career because, as you know, it's a really tough union to get into. But I mean, even as you get into it, it's very, it's tough to maintain it because a lot of the people in that union hardly make a living. There's the top tier people that make an amazing living, and then there's kind of everybody else.
Yeah, isn't there like you have to do a certain amount to maintain your SAG card?
No, I don't know. You have to maintain a certain amount of work to get your health insurance. I think you have to make over $12,000 a year or over $21,000 a year, and then you get Plan A, which is good health. But I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's an interesting, the way it trickles down. Especially now. I mean, it used to be, Screen Actors Guild and after were separate unions, but since the merger of these two unions, I mean, really, I mean, I don't know why you would have a fucking actor run your fucking union anyway. I want a guy who knows how about running. I don't want a guy who knows about run. I don't want you to act like you know how to run a fucking union. I want you to actually run the fucking union. I want Jimmy Hoffa up there at the fucking thing, because whoever, like, it's just so they have not looked out for the well-being of the majority of the people in the guild. It's very tough to even make the basics. To get your health insurance covered,
Well, that'd be great. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm paying about $1,200 a month for my wife and I right now, and we're going through something that I've been freaking out because I haven't paid any of my wife's claims and something we're going through right now, and a lot of sleepless nights wondering if I'm going to go bankrupt paying for some of the shit that's going on. But little good news on that, so I won't bore anybody with that. But man, that's great.
I mean, because these politicians really care about us. That's what the thing is. I mean, they really do. I mean, when GoFundMe is how most people get their medical bills fucking taken care of in this country now, And don't get me started on the whole fucking thing because it'd take up a whole podcast in itself. It's, we're the only nation that after World War II didn't start some kind of socialized medicine. And people go, oh, well, it would have been better than, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's really crazy. Like, we don't really live in a country. It's a fucking mental institution. You do all the research and development on these drugs, and the people who need them can't afford them. And so they got to go up to Canada and buy fucking knockoffs, or they got to buy genetic versions of those drugs. I mean, that's not even, you don't live in a country. That's a fucking mental institution. I mean, that's why you can't run healthcare for profit, because you're talking about people's fucking lives. I mean, I get that you have to make money and all. I get that. But it's so funny. Like, you go to the emergency room now, they said you a bill for like, $12,000. And then you have to call and go, itemize this fucking bill for me. And then it drops down to like fucking 2,500 or 36. You know what I mean? Because you can't justify charging me fucking $80 for an ace bandage that I can get at CVS for $3.94. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really stupid.
Yeah, you definitely got to audit. I was going to say, you definitely got to audit your bills from the hospital or doctor. I remember years ago, my father, when he went to the hospital, I looked at the bill, and there was I didn't realize my father had his vagina, examined. I asked my father, I go, Dad, I've known you so many years. I didn't know you had a vagina. And that was like $1,100 on his bill.
For what? What do you?
I mean, it was some sort of treatment he was getting for, my dad had Parkinson's and stuff. So he had gone to the hospital. I can't remember what it was actually for, but when I was looking through the itemized bill, I'm like, vagina, whatever, what is tests or this and that. I'm like,
I was a gyneoplasty.
Yeah, some shit. They were giving him the husband stitch, whatever they called it. I don't know what
they give his prison pocket a lift. What do? They fucking went in there and tightened up the prison pocket, so they went in there and sewed the elasticity back in his fucking leather Cheerio. Was it? Is that what they did?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My father was like shitting like a soft ice cream cone. They tighten it up.
So much. Everybody does at some point. You know what I mean? You get fucking. I was at a club in Cleveland, and I come off stage after my show, and this guy comes running up to me and goes, I'm kind of a performer myself. And I said, oh, really? I said, what do you do? He goes, oh, I'm a competitive eater. I said, oh, like Nathan's Hot Dogs? He goes, oh, yeah, like Nathan's Hot Dogs. I do a buffalo chicken weed eating contest. I was in a Rocky Mountain oyster fucking eating contest. I go, oh, that's great. You ever place? You ever win one or come second or third? He goes, nah, never placed. But and he pulls out his phone, and he starts showing me pictures of the shits he took after the day he was in the eating competition. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. Looks like a cursive J right there. That's pretty impressive. That's fantastic. What I call this one Mr. Softy, in a show. Like I was going, that's when you think your life's pathetic. You think this guy's got the show.
Yeah. His bowel movements.
Our pictures of shits he took the day after eating competitions.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Some people show pictures of their children, their dog, where they just went on vacation. But this guy just shows his creation.
Bro, I was a little disturbed by it myself. It's a shame they didn't have a fucking corn. I was kind of shocked that they don't have a corn on the cob eating contest where you could just eat fucking corn, and then you would eat so much corn you would just shit like an ear of corn. You would just shit an ear of corn held together by little clumps of brown smudges. It would go out the same way it went in because it never it doesn't digest. It would just come out like a fucking lie because it doesn't digest. It would just come out as an ear of corn. Anyway, I'll take like Jimmy Shubert thinks about on his downtime for $1,000.
Exactly. If you eat that much corn on the cob, which by the way I've been eating a lot of lately, it's delicious. If you eat that much corn on the cob, you can next thing your underwear is going to look like a Jiffy Pop, fucking balloon blowing up. That'd be a funny visual. I was going to ask you, is Florida treating you well? So you're getting acting roles and stuff like that. Did you spent a couple summers in Florida, which is brutal.
Hey, listen, bro. Summers are brutal everywhere. I don't give a shit what anybody says. It's hot in Las Vegas. It's hot in New York City. It's fucking hot everywhere in the summertime. That's why, hence the fucking summertime. It's not because it's hot. I mean, granted, it's a little more humid down here, but I travel for a living. So yeah, it's hot here in Florida, but I travel, so I don't always have to be here. I'm going to get ready to head to Philly. It's hot everywhere. It's all right. I don't mind it. I'll take the other. That's 3 months out of the year. 3 months out of the 12 months. The other,
Well, exactly. You mentioned California because you moved from California, and part of one of my questions for you today, and let me ask you, was how can anybody live in California anymore? Wildfires, power outages, cost of living. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, people stay there because of the entertainment business. You want to be there because that's where everything is. But like you mentioned, that's changing as well. So what the fuck is keeping people in California besides beautiful weather?
well, people have family members there. They don't want to move away from their family. You know, I get calls, probably 7 to 10 calls a month from people out in California, thinking of just asking me about how do I like living in Florida. I mean, I think, um, it depends what you want, man. So, like some people like that. Some people just, like they love living in a high crime area. It's just not enough for them to like leave. They want to sit in traffic for hours and hours on end. They want to pay a ridiculous amount of taxes, and they want to have their lives threatened at night when they go out and sit in a restaurant, have a couple guys come in with handguns and rob you. So some people like that, and they like to live like that. I, on the other hand, do not like to live like that. I don't like paying. I don't like paying. I mean, there's no state tax here. There's no state tax. There's no city tax here. There's they make their taxes on the tourist dollar, so that's fine. People can do what the fuck they want. I'm just. I know one thing. Since I've moved here, I'm a much happier human being. I've lost 30 pounds. I go to hot yoga 3 days a week. I work with a trainer. I'm eating healthier. I'm eating clean. I had to move from California to Florida to afford to be a Californian.
It's perfect. I love the bug. And that was one I was going to ask you. Could you ever see yourself leaving or going back to California? Any?
No, I'm going out there to visit. I mean, I'm going out there. I'm doing I'm doing a West Coast run, so I'm going to pop in and see some friends. I miss some of my friends out there. I'm going to swing by the Comedy Store and the Improv. I'm going to do some stand up out there at the place. But that's all it is. It's enough to, I'll enjoy my I'll go to visit. I have friends out there.
Yeah, perfect. Just
I'm not
go
going
to
to by
visit.
any stretch of the imagination would I ever move back there. By no, sir.
So you're a Floridian. You're a Floridian now.
Well, no. My brother has a place down here, so they come down like probably 18 times a year, and they come down to visit, so I get to see my nieces more. I'm also, I could jump on a plane tomorrow. I'm going to go see my family for a couple of days. Go see my mom and dad. And lucky enough, are still alive and still with me, and so I'm going to go spend some time with them and pick up a gig and just do a casino up there called Parks Casino. And yeah, man, it's just I'm just for the first time in my life, I'm really kind of happy. I'm really, really happy. I enjoy my life immensely here.
That's great. And
it
felt like
my life's completely different, though. I mean, look. Don't get me wrong. 20 years ago, California was something special. It really was. California was awesome. It was amazing. I used to live in Malibu. It was killer, man. And it was a mecca. I used to do, I did 15 episodes of The King and Queens. You go to the Sony lot and doing movies and stuff out there. I've got a lot of, I spent, I was at the Comedy Store for a long time. That's like my home club. So I have a lot of fond memories out there from a time gone past.
Yeah.
The problem is that is not the California that it is now. It's not the same California. So people always go, yeah, I want to go back out. I go, okay, help yourself, man. I just, for me, I like, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this like 30 years, so I'm good. I've done it. I've been all over the world, fucking 12, 15 times. I've been everywhere in the United States, 15 times, Canada, and down South America, all the islands, the Caribbean, Kosovo, Israel, Germany, Ireland. I've done festivals in Ireland. I've been to China 3 times, Nanjing, Suzhou, Wuxi, Shanghai, Beijing, Macau. I did Singapore. I've toured the world extensively, and I've toured. I've done a lot of armed forces shows for the military. I've been to Afghanistan and the Middle East during the wars to entertain the troops, and all through South America. Greenland, Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, and all through there, like Honduras and El Salvador and stuff. So I've been around the world enough. I've seen the world. I went to India with Russell Peters right before COVID hit. I've seen a lot. There's only a couple places left that I haven't been that I want to go, and one was Italy and probably Scotland for a golf vacation. Other than that, I've been everywhere, and that's
That's
cool. And I mean, I'm very blessed in that way. I've been able to make a living doing something I love to do, but I've also used that same skill set to be able to travel the world and just different things. I mean, for me, that's that's kind of like I've had like kind of the perfect little career. I've done enough of what I wanted to do and some of the things I needed to do, and some of the things I like. I like things that feed my soul. I like passion projects. I was certainly able to do a lot of that stuff. I really, I used to do those military tours probably once a year for probably 6 or 7 years there because I enjoyed doing it so much for the guys. These
yeah,
guys were in harm's way, and then and I've talked to them. Guys would say, I mean, I still got a guy that is a master sergeant. Comes to all my shows. Gave me a great hat. It says honorary ranger Shubert. He made a hat, but these guys they don't forget that, man. When I flew to Afghanistan in the middle of a war zone with Steve Byrne, Pedro Hernandez, Dave Mordal, and um, Drew Carey, and we did shows over there, and it was a terrific, once in a lifetime experience, man. And so it wasn't,
great.
it wasn't. It was definitely adventure travel. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
I mean,
pack
how
anything more than a backpack.
I hear you. I mean, how rewarding is that to do that? You're getting to do what you love, and you're doing it for folks that really deserve it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it's no joke. I mean, you are in the middle of a war zone, bro. You're flying on an Alpha class Chinook helicopter. You got an Apache escort. You're flying like, we get off the chopper. Goes, what are you doing here? I go, we're the comedians. He goes, yeah, but what are you doing here? Like we must suck or something. They send us over there. I go, he goes, you should have been here about this time yesterday. They were shelling us. I go, that must suck. He goes, no, not really. They're not very good shots. Come on, and choppers going off, and that's crazy, man. And you got to fire the weapons, and you got to man. It was just, and you couldn't have gone with a better guy than Drew Carey. Drew Carey's done that a lot. Drew Carey used to
Yeah.
be a Marine. Drew Carey was the sweetest, nicest guy to tour with. I mean, it was like you couldn't. A guy took every picture everybody asked. I mean, just a fun guy. We had fun. It was as crazy as it was fun.
I'm going to skip through my outline to you because that brings me to a question. Like, I've been doing comedy now 15 years, and I had somebody recently ask me, what was like your funnest moment in comedy? And with that experience, because dude, like I said, you're one of my favorite guys of all time, and then getting to meet you and getting to work with you and just get to witness, what you fucking do. And like inspirationally, like, when I met you and saw you on stage, it changed me. It changed how I wanted to write. It taught me, oh man, this isn't a joke yet. This is just the beginning of a joke and all
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know what I
You
mean?
know,
And I was gonna say, so
well,
in your illustrious career, what would you say are some of the highlights of it? Like, you got to work with Sam Kinison and Tor, and that's got to be a hard question because there's so
yeah,
many.
well, that was kind of the jumping off point. I mean, that was many years ago. I mean, when God, Sam's been dead 30 years, bro. He's been
I
dead
know,
30 years. So, I mean,
it's
not to
amazing.
age him or me, but this was a long time ago. And I was a kid. I was a kid. I was opening and for one of the most controversial comedians in America who was hanging out with all these rock stars and all these porn stars and all these strippers and all this and they were like, it was like, I mean, you're touring in a tour bus. I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, I always wanted to go, I wanted to tour the country and like I can't like tour the country for me, like even not I wasn't thinking comedy, I was just thinking how cool it would be to like get a camper and just drive around the United States and see America. And so when I went on tour with Sam Kinison, one of the cool things is you got to tour America. You got to literally on a giant tour bus and stay in great hotels and entertain thousands of people in uh, historic theaters that have been around since
Yeah.
the late 1800s and early 1900s. Some places had a lot of soul cooties on them. You could see all the names of the performers, Frank Sinatra and Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, people of that ilk that had gone before. Cincinnati was this old place, been around since the 1800s. They said it was haunted or whatever it was. But I mean, to be able to do those kind of venues and we opened it for Sam at the same time. Who was not only a mentor, but he's a friend, and really, and just from there, I was able to go into these like markets, like say you go into Oklahoma, you go, I'm going to do that. I would always invite the club owners out, and also the people who booked the comedy club. I would call ahead and I'll leave 4 free passes to you guys to come see the show. You get backstage passes. And this way, after the show, they could go backstage. I could meet them. They could meet Sam. What a fucking night for them. And I'm the guy that put it all together. So after I got off tour with Sam, I'd circle back around and call all those guys. Go, oh, yeah, Jimmy, shit, man. Come on in for a week. Da-da-da-da. And that's how I literally went. And I mean, I was doing fucking everything, bro. I was doing Dave Tribble runs. I was doing Comedy Zone runs. People don't like you don't have no idea. Like you're putting 1,000 miles a week on your car, just driving around and doing these one-nighters in these obscure areas of like Philadelphia, Mississippi, and Bubba's Belt Buckle. And it was just like it was insane. Like, yeah. And I just, and at this point you go, either I'm going to become really, really good, a really, really good comedian, or I'm going to become bitter as fuck. Either you can become bitter or you become better. And I chose to become better. I chose to become the best. Because I never said I was going to be famous. I mean, I didn't say, I want to be a famous comedian. I wanted to be the best comedian I was capable of being. So I wanted to be able to write well and do it all. And it does take a long time. I mean, you can look at guys like Doug Stanhope and Bill Burr and these guys and Rogan. These guys have been doing it 20 years. I mean, these guys were doing it 20 years before they hit that gear where they go, oh, yeah. And then, it's one of those things. I don't think people realize. I think people get into it initially because they think it's going to be a shortcut. It's going to be easy because all they got to do is talk to people. It's not. It's very difficult. You got to find your authentic voice. You got to write material for that guy. You got to build relationships with comedy club bookers all over the country. I mean, Dougie, you're doing it now. You got to work for shit money. Some weeks are a write-off. Some weeks you break even. Some weeks, and it's a fucking hustle. It's a lot like being a tour player in the PGA. These guys are playing for their supper. You know what I mean? I mean, if I win, if I can make the cut, then I can get a little bit of money, and I'll cover my plane ticket. It's but that kind of passion, that kind of commitment to it. I mean, fuck, man. There was weeks I would drive hours out of my way to go do a morning radio show, and I would do the radio show and then drive home after driving all night. I mean, it was insane. But I loved what I was doing. Yeah. And so I had this passion, I had a commitment to it that, I would listen to this great interview with this race car driver, because those guys go around a track at like 200, 250 miles an hour. And it's like, these are Formula One race cars. These things are unbelievable. So much fucking power. And the guy asked him, he said, do you get scared? He goes, no, because I have a passion for what I'm doing. And when you have passion, there's really no room for fear. There's really no room for fear as whether it's going to work out or whatever. You just kind of commit to it at a level. It's like, the guy who wants it most wins. The guy who puts the work in it. And everybody wants different shit, believe me. I mean, not everybody could be Jim Carrey or Dane Cook, nor does everybody want to be Jim Carrey or Dane Cook. Some people just want to go. Some people want to make a living doing something they love to do. You get caught in that. Look, and if you could do that, fuck, that's successful. I've been doing that for 30 years. I've been able to do movies and TV shows and my own Comedy Central special. I've been able to do and act in a myriad of projects. I mean, so yeah. I mean, am I happy? Am I happy? Yes, I'm happy where I'm at. But I would certainly. I'm going to continue to work at it. Still love to do it. Still got another couple albums in me. Going to continue to do that. And so it's everybody on his own. Some people use comedy as a vehicle to become a great TV writer. They get into television and become great TV writers. My buddy Rock Rubin, was worked with Kevin James on the King of Queens. He's an executive producer. I mean, that changes your life a little bit. You get to become a a TV writer and for a big show, and you're executive producer of a sitcom. I mean, that's a great way to make a living, man. It's good money
Sure.
and everything else. So, I mean, look at a guy like Billy Gardell. Billy Gardell not only was on a hit TV show with Mike and Molly with Melissa McCarthy, he's now on Bob Hart's Apashola, which is a whole nother career.
Yeah.
I mean, and Billy's a great stand-up, although I don't think that was his first. I mean, he's happy now doing what he's doing, so no need to jump on a plane and drive to East Bubblefuck and tell some dick jokes to drunk people. I mean, some people are lucky enough to get one TV show. He got two. I mean, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to each his own. Everybody does everybody's on their own path in this business, but I also consider my friends' wins my wins. I'm not, I know we're in an industry where people get jealous of other. Hardly that guy. I root for my friends. I think my friends' wins are my wins. I had a buddy of mine, Jeff Appeloff. He's an executive producer for a show called Don't Forget the Lyrics. He's also does Shazam with Jamie Foxx. He also does another show. And he was a kid I met doing stand-up comedy down here in Florida a long time ago. He is now like a showrunner, lives on the top of Topanga Canyon. And when he was first coming out there, he used to crash on my couch. And I would go on the road, and I'd leave the refrigerator filled with food, and I'd toss him my keys and go, the place is yours, bro. I got you all loaded up, whatever you – I mean, he's one of my good friends. And to see him win and to see him have success makes me feel good, man. I'm not bitter or jealous about anything. I've had an amazing fucking life. You asked me to pick one moment. I don't think I could pick one. There's probably 100, maybe 200 moments of shit that you go, wow, whether it's like, it was me, Sam Kinison, sitting across from Sylvester Stallone in Malibu at a Chinese restaurant, fucking just eating, having dinner, and just shooting the fucking breeze like fucking like nothing. Because Stallone's from Philly, I'm from Philly. He went to Archbishop. He went to Lincoln High School, and so I had this like connection with him, and he was funny as shit. Hanging out with Julian Lennon and some of the rock and roll parties at Sam's house. Some of the just like it seems like if you think back about it, it's just. It's an incredible life, It just really is. I mean, I have nothing negative to say. I mean, I'm been very blessed. I really have been very blessed and very fortunate. I've worked hard too, but I've been also very blessed. So I'm not one of these guys. Every day is a gift now, man.
I think one of the keys to what you said is you get better, not bitter. And, I mean, this is an easy industry to get a bit bitter about because it is a tough industry. It's easy to get frustrated and bogged down.
Well, it's all
stuff.
tough, bro. The music industry's tough. The game's changed a little bit. There's people doing, social media, and some people are better at social media than they are at the actual craft of writing music or whatever, or doing jokes. It's just the game changed. Either you get better with handling all that stuff or you don't. But yeah, no question, it's a tough business. It's a really tough business, but it's tough also being a screenwriter. It's tough being an author. It's tough. It's because it's worth it. And if it wasn't tough, everybody'd be fucking doing it. You know what I mean? But it's tough.
Exactly.
And so it takes a little bit of, you kind of like, you gotta hit bottom a couple times, and then you can just then you find your momentum again. So it's, okay, it ain't no, yeah, it is. So you just got to have a plan. You got to keep working your plan. You got to keep working your goal. You can't be lazy. You got to work your ass off. Recently, a guy texted me a comic down here. He goes, I'm getting ready to move to New York. He goes, any advice? I go, yeah, work your ass off. Work your fucking ass off. Don't just, I'm going to move. It's going to get harder. You're going to get harder. You're going to get up there. It's going to be tougher to get stage time. You have to work your ass off. You're competing against the best guys in the country. That's what I did love. I mean, I consider that the ultimate life hack. When you leave your hometown, like grew up in Philadelphia. I had 5 brothers. My dad was a Philadelphia police detective. My mom was a school teacher. And I left home when I was 19. I put all my shit into a 1969 puke green Buick LeSabre, and I drove across country with the sole intention of becoming a professional comedian. I was listening to a series of tapes by Dr. Dennis Waitley called The Psychology of Winning. And I listened to him over and over and over and over again till that information was drilled in my fucking head. I hit LA. I started my job. I moved into an apartment, and I showcased for Mitzi all in the same fucking day. 2 weeks from the day I fucking landed. I
Wow.
was so motivated and pumped. That's all I gave a fuck about. I lived it. I breathed it. I eat it. I slept it. I dreamt about it. I got up in the morning and worked a shitty fucking day job. And as soon as that was over, I jumped in my car and started hitting open mics. And I did it every fucking night for about 2 or 3 years. Sometimes you could get 5 sets in one night. Sometimes you did 2 sets. But that's all I gave a shit about. And that's the kind of level of commitment that it takes because I wanted it. I wanted it. Back then, we didn't have social media. You had to be a fucking great joke writer. You had to be a great writer, and that's a learned skill set. You know, you can't learn to be likable. There's certain things you can learn. You can learn to write better jokes. You can learn to, your stage presence can get better the more comfortable you get. You can't learn likability, right? You can't learn. You can't learn passion. Either you have it or you don't. So the things that you can learn are great, but you have to have all those other elements that you can't learn. If you have those, then you can fucking build and you can start and you can go, and now it's more competitive than ever. I mean, when I started, I was like, not a lot of guys doing it. I mean, I did it for 2 years in Philly. I mean, dude, my life, I started doing like magic when I was 10 and 11 years old. I got a kit when I was 9. And by the time I was 15, I was an accomplished professional magician. I mean, I was doing a lot of, like shows. And then when I hit 18, I just went right into comedy. I mean, everything else was like a fucking side job or a side hustle just to keep me making money so I could do the things I love to do. And so,
Yeah, most people don't know that. I mean, if you spend time with Jimmy, you'll start doing some tricks in front of you, which is awesome, as opposed to some comics just sit there and try to tell you jokes off stage. It's like, all right, I'd rather see that shit on stage. But I'm writing a book, and one of the chapters is not everybody can walk on the moon, and because like you said, not everybody could be that person that sells out theaters. Not everybody could be a TV star, one way or the other. But
hey,
shit, man,
and I'm not taking anything away from those guys either, because for them to do that was an incredibly hard amount of work. But that fucking bus comes along once every 10 or 15 years. You get a couple guys that catch that fucking bus. I mean, believe me, has nothing to do with anything other than and it's also a representation game. You need people fucking representing you properly. You need a champion on the other side of the ball, putting you up there, because by far, some of the most famous guys are not the funniest guys, but the most famous guys. I mean, and that doesn't have one thing to do with the other. I mean, I know plenty of guys that are fucking hilariously funny that aren't even close to being famous, So it's hey, teach his own. Everybody's got to figure out their own journey, their own path.
Yeah, like you said.
Some
I mean,
people
the
don't
key
want that. Believe me. I mean, do I want to get up every day? Fucking, I get up at 5:30 in the morning anyway. I mean, you're doing this podcast. I mean, aside from traveling all over the country, you got to do this fucking podcast every week or everything. It's an incredibly tough amount of work. You know what I mean? And so, for me, I know I'm one of these guys that would probably say something that would get me fucking canceled. Like, I would be one of those guys who would, what he said? Oh shit, here we go. Then I'm fucking canceled. I mean, it's bad enough, I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened. People are just walking around angry now. They're angry. They can't take a joke. They have no sense of humor. I think people that don't have a sense of humor, I feel sorry for them, because that all that anger and all that hate in them, it's not good for your health. It's not good for your mental well-being. A good sense of humor means you don't take yourself too seriously. It means you're able to, laugh at yourself. I think that's a good thing. But these people, I gotta cancel them. Like, I mean, who the fuck are you? We're banishing you from society. You are no longer allowed to make a living. Like, who the fuck are you? Who's we? Who's we?
Yeah.
Well, who are you? Like how fucking dare? Like, oh, we live in a culture now where you're not even allowed to make a fucking mistake. It was a fucking tweet. The fact that I got fired over a tweet, that sounds ridiculous. I tweeted and then I got canceled. What's the fuck? Like, I mean, if you were saying it to someone, what a tweet, and then what happened? Yeah, people took it out of context, and it's like, well, I mean, you're a fucking moron. I got to tell you, man. I got to tell you that I mean, you could see it now more than ever. More is it prevalent. I mean, there's there's two groups of people in the world now. There's people who get it, and there's people who don't. I don't blame the people who don't. I mean, they've been conditioned for the last 30 years. I mean, they sit in front of that idiot box and watch the TV. Why do you think they call it programming? They've been dumbed down. You've been using the fluoride on your teeth. It calcified your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is like an antenna for your brain. You're able to dream and think of stuff and connect with other dimensions. But, you brush your teeth and you calcify it and it doesn't operate like it should. You put on deodorants that have chemicals in it that cause fucking cancer because these motherfuckers are trying to kill us. I don't even know what the deal is or why they would do that. But certainly there's too many people on the planet. These eugenists will decide who's going to live and who's not going to live. And then you have a generation of people that are old and they're living off their Social Security, which they paid into, which they should have. But no, let's create a disease that kills all those people. Let's get a couple people with COVID-19 and move them in with the most vulnerable people in our society. And let's fucking get rid of them. We'll save ourselves a couple million in the long run because we won't have to pay out Social Security to these fucking old fucks. I love the people. My thing is, I love the people think that like politicians actually give a fuck about them. I love that people think that's like going to the strip club and going, she really likes me. She really likes me. The stripper really likes me. I really got a shot with the stripper. Even if you have a tiny sliver of gray matter between your fucking ears, you got to be paying attention. You got to see, the amount of deaths for people under 40 in New York City is up 175%. And that's a statistic that comes from the life insurance policies because they got to pay out on these policies. So that number is pretty fucking accurate. Why? Yeah. Oh, it's a new thing called sudden adult death syndrome. Really? The first time I'm hearing of this. What is that from? Well, it just happens. A lot of people are dying younger now. It wouldn't have anything to do with any of the events that happened recently, would it? Fuck, bro. Look at margarine. Margarine is fucking straight up fucking poison. It's one molecule away from plastic. The FDA approved that fucking many years ago. It's a healthy option to butter. It's got 27 of the same ingredients as fucking paint. People who use margarine on their toast have a 35 to 37% greater chance of getting cancers than people who don't use fucking margarine. Sodas, you're fucking pure poison. A lot of our food is banned in other countries because these other countries won't let them put the fucking products in, the chemicals they put in. Skittles has fucking got fucking poison in it. You're giving it to your fucking kids. You think these people give a fuck about you? Are you out of your fucking mind? You're in the way. Yeah. You are a useless food eater. That's right. You are a useless food eater, Dougie. Yes, that's what we are. Useless food eater, and we're fucking dispensable. And then, sorry to hear about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Fuck these people.
Never more evident than today. You're right. And I was just explaining to somebody, I couldn't believe somebody was drinking Splenda or Equal. I'm like, how could you? You know what I mean? Well, it's better than sugar. I go, where'd you learn that shit? You know what I mean? Sugar's not very good for your body.
You know what it is? You know what it is, bro? It's the great unlearning. Everything you thought you know is not true. Everything you thought was true is not true. Margarine's better than butter. No, it's not. Butter actually makes the food taste better, helps the body absorb the nutrients in the food. Actually, and you can, butter is much better for you, just in moderation, of course. You don't eat sticks of butter. You don't deep fry butter and eat fucking sticks of deep fried butter. Then you're asking for trouble. Yeah. But you go to fucking yogurt, bro. Oh, half that ketchup bottle is fucking sugar. You know what it is, bro? It's sugar. It's sugar. It's sugar. It's straight up fucking poison. You take a spoonful of sugar, and your immune system drops by 50%.
Yeah,
it's I'm telling you. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a fucking comedian. I don't trust these motherfuckers. I don't eat fast food joints. I make all my own food. I don't fucking. I got to try to go and get the fucking healthiest shit I can eat. I fucking clean my fruit real good to get the pesticides and all the shit off it. Hey, you want your food without poison on it? Well, that'll be extra. Oh, the organic stuff? Yeah, that's extra. We put poison on all the other stuff. You know what I mean? What the fuck are we doing? What kind of fucking mental institution do we live in? Seriously, it's a mental institution. These people could give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
They really
It's
could.
always
It's no way
it's
to live your
amazing that
life, bro.
it's amazing how people think the government's out to help you, and in fact, you don't give a fuck. Vote
Yeah,
for
talk
us,
to
and
the
that's all
Indians.
that
Go talk
matters.
to the Indians. Talk to the African Americans they did the Tuskegee experiment on. Talk to fucking anybody. Talk to the people in Waco or the fucking talk to any American Indian tribe or African Americans about how great the government of the United States is. It's not the people. I'm not saying it's not. Look, we live in a great country, but the problem is half the taxes didn't exist 100 years ago. None of this shit existed 100 years ago. We had the strongest middle class in the country. There's a place where you go get your dream. These people have made it. These people, they go up there and they take more of your money and more of your money and more of your money. Hey, fucker, I don't work for you, you fucking scumbag. You're not a leader. You're a shallow, vacuous, soulless fucking lizard person that's fucking would you jump on a bandwagon, act like you care about people, and then they go back to their fucking office and sell every last one of those motherfuckers out. Bernie. Bro, Bernie's been in fucking government for 33 fucking years. Bernie, if you want to fix something, chances are you would have fixed it already. These people think that, I'm sorry. I think they're all full of shit, bro. I think we need to where do you make your babies? Where do you make these kids get the vaccine and where do these kids start having fucking heart problems and stroking out at 9 years old at PE class? Oh, you think the parents going to be happy with that? They may fucking track Fauci down, grab him into the middle of the street, douse him in gasoline, and set him on fucking fire. How fucking dare you? What's your walkaway number, Bill Gates? How much money do you fucking need, Bill? How much money do you need to just go the fuck away? He's got millions of dollars. You'd figure he'd take some of that million and do something with that fucking 1969 Beatles haircut and those Coke bottle fucking glasses. I mean, how much money do you, what is it about these cocksuckers? They make so much money. They become like Batman villains. You're like a Batman villain or, James Bond. And we will take the ray gun, will destroy the planet. What's your fucking end game, you psycho? He's buying up all the farmland in the fucking America. I wonder what he's got planned now. These fucking cocksuckers sold us out to fucking China. The only thing is, you think the Chinese give a fuck about their people? Oh, no, they can. Everybody's fucking expendable. 7.1 billion. The 0.1 billion is more than we have in our entire fucking country. I've been to China 3 fucking times. For every Chinese guy, there's 9 Chinese guys. Someone's going to misconstrue that and cancel me. He's racist. It's racist. There's a lot of fucking Chinese people. Every time I was over there, stuck my hand in my pocket. I was shaking hands with a Chinese guy. I was just in Panera Bread, and the lady said, our number one seller is our Chinese chicken salad. I went, oh, your Chinese chicken salad, really? I said, Chinese chicken salad, because I got to tell you, in all my travels of the last 30 fucking years, and I've been to China 3 different times. I've been to Suzhou, Wuxi, Nanjing, Shanghai, Beijing, Macau, Hong Kong. Never have I once seen a fucking Chinese person forking down a bowl full of romaine lettuce with some shaved almonds, some fried wontons, all covered in a nice sesame oil vinaigrette. In fact, I have a fucking standing offer to anybody from fucking mainland China who could actually say vinaigrette. Okay? $100. Anybody from mainland China could actually pronounce vinaigrette. All right, that's number one. Number 2 is I eat salads because I'm a fat fuck. All right? I eat a fancy destination salad named after 7.1 billion people who've never tasted fucking lettuce. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That'll get me canceled. That's a rant that'll get me. I'll be anyway. Nice doing your show, Dougie. I'm gonna start packing my things because I'm about to get canceled because I spit some truth. No, it's
not
funny
because
I got to tell you.
Go ahead,
all of it. We live in a ridiculous society. We live in a ridiculous society. People care more about online likes and followers. It's so fucking narcissistic. We've gone from expressing your truth or speaking your truth to self-expression to like full-blown fucking narcissism. I got to tell you, bro, it's disgusting. It's sickening. It's like, women get all mad when fucking men objectify them, but they have no problem putting on a bikini and jumping on fucking TikTok. Oh, yeah, go do another TikTok video about it, you fucking dumb twat. You wonder why nobody wants to. Anything beautiful never asks for attention. Anything beautiful never asks for attention. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. People are
Yeah,
just fucking like, you know,
you're
I
you're right
mean,
on
God
a
forbid.
narcissistic thing, by the way, dude. You're right on that because I've experienced so much of that. With even a family recently, a family member. It's like where it was my mother-in-law's birthday, and a family member was like, "Well, blah blah blah." I'm like, this is about her. It has nothing to do with you, right? Why are we talking about how you feel about this situation? It's not your fucking birthday. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
amazing.
everybody, well, dude, that's where we're at now. Everybody thinks, first off, there are some things that are reserved for the inside of your therapist's office. Okay, that doesn't mean you should jump on fucking Facebook and go on a long-winded diatribe about fucking talking to imaginary people who you're fucking fighting with, who nobody fucking knows because you're projecting your shit. Like, I mean, you fucking listen. Go get some fucking help, okay? Because you are the I got to tell you something, man. I have zero fucking interest in interacting with these people on every level. And they act like, why can't they're all, would you date me? Would you? No, I wouldn't date you, you cunt. Get off fucking TikTok. Maybe you'd have a fucking shot. Put down the fucking cell phone on the tripod and go fucking develop some skills. Like maybe you learn how to cook or something, or maybe become useful. Maybe you have a skill set. Like maybe you become a real person. Maybe you can become a real person that says, I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's absolutely disturbing on a level. I mean, I fucking hate all of it, dude. I get up. I don't even when I get up in the morning. I leave my phone in the other room. I get up. I make some food. I do some food prep. I cook. I listen to fucking a couple podcasts. I listen to some music. I never even turn my TV on. I don't even turn my TV on anymore. Like my fucking peace of mind, my mental well being. It's not up for grabs. I don't want it anywhere near me. I'd rather spend the rest of my life alone, beaten off like fucking Migs from Silence of the Lambs, than have anyone of these.
It's by the way, it's so funny you mention that because two things I've done recently. Number one, I don't put the phone in my room anymore. My phone is left in my office in the house, and it's there. I don't. So when I wake up, it's not even close to me. I don't even want to
Here's the
look at
deal,
it.
bro. Listen, the phone is for me to keep in touch with you. It's not for you to have access to me 24/7. You don't get to have access to me 24/7. Even on emails, I don't. I'm not. Look, I may read an email, maybe take me 2 days to process the information, and then I'll respond. I'm not. You don't get to have access to me. It's not. I'm not. Look, I'm just. I'm going fucking underground. I mean, I've been getting up at 5:30. I hit the fucking gym for 2 hours. I usually go and watch the sunrise. I'll take a walk on the fucking beach. I'll hit the gym, do cardio, do a weight workout, and then I'll come home and do a power shake, and then I go do fucking Raja yoga, hot yoga in a fucking class, and I meditate for an hour and a half. That's how I spend 3 days a week, probably 9 hours, 10 hours of fucking exercise, and I eat fucking as clean as I can eat. And I don't give a fuck anymore, bro. I've lost these last 2 years have been incredibly fucking brutal. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot
Yeah.
of friends. Different stuff, various stuff. I mean, whatever. I mean, different things that colon cancer and other cancers and stuff like that, and so bro, you don't. It's very limited. You get a little bit of time, man, and it flies. You're
Yeah.
27, you're 35, you're 42, you're 53, and then you know what I mean. I mean, it's like wow, boom, 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 like that fast. And I've had a fucking amazing life. I mean, believe me, it's like whoa, fuck, boom, holy shit, how did we get here?
I don't know how more
So
people don't realize that, dude. I'm 55 now, and it feels like I was just 2 days ago. I was in my 20s, and now I'm like 10 years from Social Security. I'm like, fuck, it's amazing how time flies, and I'm just amazed that I'm just amazed that so many other people don't see that. They don't take advantage of that every day.
well,
This,
because we live in a society that really actually kind of goes out of its way to punish authenticity. You can't be authentic anymore because they want you to be like everybody else. Join the bandwagon, follow the masses, do what everybody else does. The authenticity, I would rather believe me. The fucking mainstream, bro. I would rather fucking play comedy clubs for the rest of my life and be able to work on and do and create my special blend of fucking stand up comedy than not. I mean, the mainstream is fucking sickening, bro. You see what these people do. It's like, I don't. I don't. I saw this interview with Bowie. He said he's not interested in the mainstream stuff because it's like, I want to create art, man. I want to create art, verbal art. I want to do that. I want to, talk about that. I don't want to. I want to make people laugh really hard. I want to play golf. I want to freaking work on my close-up magic. I want to, I want to try. I'm working on a one-man show. I mean, I got goals. I'm working on another album. I mean, these are the kind of things I want to do. These are the kind of things that feed my soul. I don't need to go out partying every night. Those days are long gone, man. I just try to be as productive as I can with my day and stay away from all the shit, you know. And believe me, there's
Yeah.
a lot of shit. It's the great unfucking. The amount of shit that you have to unlearn. Go, oh well, that's not true. Well, that guy's not an expert, and that wasn't even an expert fucking opinion. I mean, what the fuck you got to do to be considered an expert today? Put on a fucking tie? I mean, Jesus, we saw these with the last 2 years. These experts didn't know anything. Nobody fucking knows anything. The people that know shit are doing it and making fucking money doing it. Everybody else is just fucking pretending. And anybody,
Yeah.
like, everybody else is just pretending. It really is. It's just
What's
everybody
the
else.
old expression? What's the old expression? If you can't do it, you coach or teach. That kind of thing.
No,
And it seems,
those who can do, those who can do, those who can't teach.
yeah. I mean, it seems like we have so many people offering unsolicited advice on a regular basis. In the world of comedy, it's amazing how you get comics that are doing
Well,
comedy for a couple of
you
years.
know what they say, bro. You know what they say. Plumbers always have leaky pipes. Mechanics always drive shitty cars. Life coaches are always the most fucked up. I mean, it's just dating fucking people. Like date. I love the dating coaches. Are you single? Like, yeah, I've been single, but I know what people. No, honey. Listen, if you're in a relationship for 30 fucking years, then you can tell me about relationships, all right? Okay, you got. I don't listen to any of these people. I stay the fuck away from anybody that thinks they know. There's only one way to know, and that's either to do it yourself and educate yourself and to read about it. I'd rather read a fucking book. I'd rather go read and not on the phone. I'd rather read a book. I love the feel of a book in my hands. I got a stack of books here I'm trying to get through. I got to read at least a chapter, 2 books a day, a chapter a day. I get up in the morning. I fucking go to the beach. I meditate. I usually say my rosary. I go to the fucking gym. And then I do my fucking serious meditation in the afternoon at Raja Yoga in a hot fucking room and sweat my balls off. All right. I'm becoming, the less I need, the better off I am. I'm saving my money.
It seems great to simplify things, right? Just stick to what you do and what I think it's great advice for everybody.
I also put the work in. I also, like you said, I also love what I do comedically. I also love creating and putting together pieces of comedy. And I love making people laugh. That's what I really love to do with my life. I love creating that. And so it shows in my work and it shows in my work ethic, and creating on top of, more bits. I got another album I'm doing. I'm probably going to be doing a new hour for Amazon come November. I'm still working out the details on that. I'm up for, possibly, a series regular, an hour drama. I mean, who knows? Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But I mean, don't want to jinx anything. But so we'll see what happens. I'm just, I'm a very blessed guy. I'm very fortunate. And so try to be as grateful as possible, and enjoy my life.
Like you said, I mean, be better, not bitter is something we should all remember from this podcast
Yeah,
today.
but grateful too. I mean, I find myself being so grateful for stuff, and the more grateful I am, the more life blesses me, more things to be grateful about. I think if you think, I think it's a mindset. I think it really is. If you expect good things to happen to you, then good things happen to you. If you fucking manifest and pray on things and you live your life like a decent human being and get rid of all that fucking hate. I mean, people are filled with hatred and they're filled with bitterness, and you'll rot like a piece of fruit from the inside out. It's fucking it's unnerving. I mean, it doesn't serve anybody. It's like, especially if you're angry at somebody, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It doesn't serve you. Let it all go. It's a short little fucking spin you get on this fucking thing. Last thing I want to do is spend time arguing with people on Facebook. The last thing I want to try to fucking convince people who aren't ready to hear a message about how you should fucking take care of your health better by eating certain foods. If you don't want to hear it, you don't want to hear it. I'm not going to get red in the face anymore. Look, if you want to, look, I mean, if you want to be stupid today, I have to respect your commitment to remain fucking stupid, because there are so many ways. You could sit in the back. You can go to iTunes University. There's free courses. You could sit in the back of a Harvard classroom and watch a Harvard economics class. You can watch a history class at Yale and sit in the back of iTunes University. You can go on YouTube and watch TED Talks and lectures and people speak that really do know what they're talking about, or give you another perspective, at least, certainly to entertain. There's guys like Jordan Peterson. There's guys like, people that are every day they're trying to get better, trying to become a better version of themselves. And that's like, and listen, and everybody's got their own shit. Believe me, everybody's, yeah, it's just trying to survive the trauma of fucking human existence. The trauma of human existence, man. I mean, just trying to the shit that the fucking people, like, I'm not fucking amazed, man. Shit, some people go through and the heartbreak they've been through, and they get up every morning and they fucking put their boots on and they get back at it. That's impressive to me. That's fucking character. That's strength. That's courage in the face of all fucking odds, of all stuff. These people get up every day and try to find purpose in life. That's inspiring to me. That shit inspires.
Yeah.
You're an influencer. Why? Because you said you were an influencer. I wouldn't fucking, you couldn't influence me to do a fucking thing. In fact, I see you trying to influence me, I'm going to do the exact opposite. These people are fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're a model? Did anybody hire you, or are you just an Instagram model? You know what I mean? Or you get to say, where are these people? What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm model on Instagram. No, people who model get paid for it. You just somebody who likes to, photographers will take your picture because you look great in the bikini, and they think you're going to get some pussy if they take some pictures for you. But you're not a model. It's like the term porn star. I'm a porn star. No, you're somebody who takes your clothes off, lets strangers fuck you while other people film it. I would hardly consider that a star. Don't get me wrong. There are some porn stars, believe me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's a handful of those. You know what I mean? And then everybody else is just fucking making bad decisions while someone's operating a video camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some people haven't explored all their options.
Well, it's funny. I love how people go, porn objectifies women. Well, then tell women to stop showing up and doing it. Because if not, you just got 9 guys standing around with a boner, and no one's going to watch that sausage party, all right? Because it's like, it's funny. It's like, no, I'm allowed to objectify myself. I just don't want anybody objectifying me. You know what I mean? And women will fart in a bag and sell it over the internet. Fucking sell her period panties, anything to make a buck, huh? Hey, your fans only. I started doing a reverse OnlyFans account. I started sending everybody dick pictures. I was charging them $19.95 a month to get me to stop. So that's how I do it.
Pay him already.
Pay him already. Not another picture of the guy's flesh musket. Holy shit. Oh, Jesus. I got to stare at this guy's fucking purple helmet, soldier of love again. God damn it. Who? Oh, shit. Here's another picture of his cream-filled flesh Twinkie. Damn it, son of a bitch. Pay the man his money. Pay the man his money. Don't mess the pot.
Where's my ATM card? I mean, in that little 10, 15, 20-second spurt, we had about 8 to 10 different expressions and identifications of a man's penis. I mean, that was amazing. See, that's a wordsmith for you right there. That's one of the things
that's what I do. I paint pictures with words, Dougie. I paint pictures with words. That's what I do. I'm like Van Gogh, but with words, with language.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway.
Listen, like you said, it's been inspirational because I had somebody say that to me, and I was at the North Carolina Comedy Festival this weekend, and a comic came up to me and says, "Because you're a wordsmith," just because. And I said, I go watch Jimmy Shubert. Go pull up some of his videos and you'll get an understanding what that's like. And that's, like I said, that was inspirational to me because, from your inspiration, I came up with the expression, I look like an honest Pinocchio with a little dick. I mean, that's, how else, it's a word. It's using Pinocchio. A few words. Yeah. You can stand it. Basically, the joke's about being in a threesome and you better have a big dick, otherwise you're standing there like an honest Pinocchio. You know what I mean? But it's a good visual. Can you picture? All right. So listen, a real quick question for you. We've been through a lot. I have to ask you this question because you've been all over the world. You've done a lot of things. But the question is would you go to space? Considering, Ben, let's roll this film. Considering the last launch of the Blue Horizon from Amazon, this was their last flight. Speaking of penises and flesh rockets, nobody was in this flight, but I'm going to spend $500,000 to go to space. Yeah, I'm going to be on the next one. I think it's a great idea. Who else is going to say they're going to go to space? It's a great idea. I'm ready to do it. Oop, what's going on with the rocket? Oh shit. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just go to Hawaii.
Hey, Bezos, do me a favor. Leave the rocket building to the fucking professionals. Okay, you just make sure my fucking package gets here by Thursday. All right, just worry about a faster fucking delivery of my package than fucking putting a rocket in space. Like that's what I'm saying. Again, Bezos, how, like, what are you a Batman villain? What are you gonna put a satellite in space that will destroy the world? I would keep it. These like people, like these, like, I mean, fuck, believe me, if I had Bill Gates money, you would never fucking hear from me, bro. I would have my own island. I would go live out there on my island. I would have fucking farmland. I would grow all kinds of fucking fruits and vegetables out there. I would grow my own food. I'd have fucking goats. I'd be a self-sustained island. That's what I would do. I would
Yeah.
enjoy my fucking life, and I would just be. I mean, maybe I would do things to like change the world and for a good way, like a good way, like maybe do some like do some low cost housing to try to put a dent in the homeless problem. Maybe like get a couple of those long metal containers and stack them and make them and make it cheap housing for people who and just for people who were like that just had a bad time in their luck and just needed a place to stay to get on their feet again and kind of be able to do that or just kind of like feed people. There's lots of ways that you could use money to the problem is the bureaucracy. Like it's so funny, dude. Can you imagine the irony of having $120,000 fucking electric car and you have to fucking fire up a fucking gas powered generator to charge that motherfucker because you have a rolling blackout? Yeah, that there is the only image you needed to say about the green movement in this country. Like before you could come up with like these newfangled light bulbs, you should really figure out a proper replacement before you get rid of the incandescent light bulbs. I don't think I mean, dude, you look at places like, if you look at the places like Indonesia and India and China, most of the fucking pollution in the oceans are coming from those three fucking countries because they don't give a fuck about it. Hardly, in our country are we producing that kind of waste. I'm sorry, but we're not. Okay. And if you look at like the designs of the Kyoto Treaty, which is designed to punish, Western countries like ours, because the countries like Indonesia, they're considered developing countries, which they're really not developing countries, but they are. Like if you're putting all this stress and strain on buying carbon fucking credits, it's fucking stupid, bro. They've been saying this shit for 40 years. I'm not saying, look, we should recycle our resources. That makes sense because there's a lot of fucking people. But gosh, what are you what are you doing a carbon credit? What is a carbon credit? What is it? Where does that go? Where does that go? The 10 cents for the grocery bag. How's that saving the planet? The plastic is still in. I mean, I could buy a fucking plastic jug of almond milk, and I could get a pound of ham in a plastic bag and some cheese in a bag, and I get a bag of plastic trash bags. But you won't give me a plastic bag to put the stuff that's fucking made of plastic so I can get the fuck out of the supermarket. It's 10 cents for the bag. But I'm saying this doesn't make any sense. It's fucking retarded. And I'm saying the word retarded. Or if it hurts your feelings, I'll say mentally encumbered. But either way, the problem is that if you don't get involved in politics or government today, then you're destined to be governed by people that are fucking dumber than you. And certainly, nowhere is that more apparent than now.
Yeah, well, exactly. And like you
we'll
said,
be right back after these commercial messages, ladies and gentlemen. Give me, it's my podcast. Oh, sorry, Dougie. I didn't realize.
Welcome back.
I'm
to
sorry.
Counterpoint.
I slipped into talk show mode, Doug. I slipped into talk show.
Well, listen, I really appreciate it because I've said less on this podcast than I said.
It's time for you to fucking shift your jaw in neutral and give us all a fucking break. You give me a fucking ear beating over here. Time for somebody else to do the heavy lifting, Dougie.
That's what I said. I got to have Jimmy on the show today because I'm really tired. I don't want to fucking speak. But
I got laryngitis. Book Shubert. I got laryngitis. Book Shubert. He'll do all the talking. I want to fucking flap my cake hole at all.
Well, I got to tell you what, it's been great because I didn't even have to go through any stories today because you just gave us all a bunch of great stuff.
Yeah, because that's what happens when you have somebody on your fucking podcast who has talent, who's a world traveler, who does some critical thinking, who fucking, who knows what's up. A man who's educated himself, a man who never went to college, but that didn't stop him from reading fucking 4 books a fucking week and educating himself. A man who makes his own wellness shots, a man who makes his own sea moss, Man does fucking hot yoga 3 days a week. Fucking entrepreneur. Fucking,
Next time I see you, I
fucking,
got to feel your bicep, dude. Next time I see you, I got to feel your bicep. We got to look at that man. Look
yeah,
at that
bro.
specimen. That's what happens when you live in Florida and you're sweating your balls off on the summer. But listen, we got a couple minutes left. I just want to, again, thank you for everything you do. We do appreciate it. Like I said, ever since I met you, you've been a big inspiration to my comedy, and I've learned tons from you. I just wish I was so upset when I was leaving Florida and you came. I moved to Florida. I was like, that was one of the things I actually told my wife. I go, you sure you want to move? And all because of Jimmy
Well,
Shubert moving into
man,
town.
I just couldn't do. Look, dude. The last 2 years were tough for everybody. I mean, I talked to my friend Tony Hinchcliffe. Those guys all went to Austin. They got out of fucking California. I don't blame them. I mean, look, man, it just didn't seem like it was ever going to go the fuck away. And I was worried about my mental health. I really was. I mean, for me to fucking pick up and move across country.
Big decision.
Well, I tell you, it's not something I looked at lightly. Believe me, it's just so.
It had to have
But
been difficult
at
because
the end
as
of
an
the
actor,
day,
you're there, you're an actor, you're there, you're a comedy, you're in the comedy scene of the world. To leave. I mean, it definitely took a lot of confidence and
oh yeah,
understand
but
and truth.
the great thing is I've been just as busy down here. I mean, I'm busy. I'm busy. Look, as long as I have an airport, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm getting ready to head back out to Los Angeles in October. I'm going to be doing some spots at the store. I'm going to be doing some spots at at the Improv, and I'm going to be working out there. I got a gig down in Escondido. I'm going to head up north and do a couple shows. So I'm just going to still travel, man. The thing is, life is cheaper here, and life is a little simpler here. Not that life's easy, but it's a little simpler here. And so, I don't have to work as hard, and nor do I want to. I want to fucking enjoy a little bit of life. But I've been fucking living my life out of a suitcase for the last 30 fucking years. I've missed great,
Yeah.
important fucking family functions and birthdays and anniversaries and christenings and stuff because I've been busy fucking traveling. And now I'm not doing. Look, I'm putting my fucking life first. I'm putting my family first. I want to do stuff with my family. I want to see, you know what I mean. I really do. I've done enough, and I'll continue to do some more, but on my own terms now.
Well, nothing's more, nothing is more impressive than somebody living their life the way they want and doing that. So for
That's true,
everybody,
bro. I tell you, man, I get up every morning and I thank God. I thank God because I've been able to really. You're right. I lived my life the way I wanted to, you know. And so,
wow.
and I got to hang out with some great fucking people. I have my wall of fame in my house. You know, I got to meet some great, amazing friends over the years. Nowhere in comedy, you work with these people a lot, like you've had your mentors. I've had my mentors. I've gotten to work with a lot of these guys. I've become friends with these guys. Guys that inspire me, and guys that motivate me, and just have great relationships with people over the years. And you have friends all over the country. I have friends all over the country, like literally. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, my uncle used to say to me, if you took me up in an airplane and gave me a parachute and I jumped out of the airplane over America, he goes, I guarantee you by 8 o'clock that night, I'd have a bed to sleep in, I'd have $20 in my pocket, and I'd have a warm meal in my stomach. And that seems like that's true because I have friends all over the United States and people that I know everywhere. It's kind of, I never forgot when my uncle said that, but it's kind of true, I didn't
Yeah.
nowhere, because other comedians. I mean, certainly, how tough this is. You know how this isn't like a. I think lay people think they understand. I don't think they really quite get the amount of work that goes into it, and I think other comedians certainly do. They know what it takes. They know how much sacrifice is involved, how much work is involved, and so. So yeah, so you meet these people, and obviously people you respect and admire, and they also have the same, and it's mutual. They have the same
Yeah.
respect for you. So that's kind of a cool thing. Anyway,
Well,
Dougie, I know you're gonna get going here, but dude, a really great catching up with you, and wish you nothing but the best up there in South Carolina. Next time you're down here, give old Shubie do and we'll hang.
yeah, definitely. We're coming down in the first week in October and the middle of November. I'm coming back down do some stuff. So,
Yeah.
could be staying in the Palm Beach area. So, listen, buddy, I really definitely do appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing the show. And last thing you want to say, where anybody can find you, where they can
Yeah,
get
people
more.
can go to jimmyshubert.com. You can find my tour schedule there. I'll be in. I'm going. I got St. Louis, Reno, Las Vegas. I'm doing 2 weeks in Vegas. One at the Laugh Factory, then at Brad Garrett's place. Also, I'm going to be at Parks in Philadelphia on the Thursday night, September 15th. So Parks Casino. So if just go to my schedule, you can follow me online. Follow me on Instagram at Jimmy Shubert. Also at TikTok at Jimmy Shubert. They hacked my Twitter. Somebody stole my Twitter, so I don't longer have my Twitter handle. Not that they've been posting on it; they just stole it. I can't have access to it. So,
Wow.
So I'd say follow me on Twitter, but it's not going to do anybody any good.
Yeah. Be some guy putting his dick pic on there. You know what I mean? But dude, again, thanks so much for doing the show, and look forward to it. And like I said, nothing better than the best thing I felt being in comedy is getting to meet great people and having this array of friends that are developing in this industry. And it's just great to know that.
Hey, good luck
like
with
you.
the World Series of Comedy when you're out there in Vegas, man. Good luck with that.
Appreciate it, buddy. Jimmy Shubert, everybody. Please check him out. He got a great dude, very funny guy. Like I said, one of the funniest comics I know, and great inspiration to me in my comedy. So with that said, that's all we have time here on the Wake Up Late with Dougie show. We appreciate that. Thanks again to Jimmy Shubert for doing our show. And of course, this week I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm going to be at the Rick's Bar Rolling Barbecue on Wednesday night this week in Las Vegas. Thursday night I'm going to be at the Backyard in Henderson, Nevada. And Friday and Saturday I'm going to be at Las Vegas Comedy Club in the Planet Hollywood V Theater. And, of course, on Thursday, competing in the World Series of Comedy at the LA Comedy Club in the Stratosphere. Go to DougieAlmeida.com for more dates. God bless everybody. Live your life. And as Jimmy says, do things you love. Don't do it for other people. God bless. And we'll see you next time here at the same spot.
Yes! Wake up. I'm not psycho. Wake up. Wake up.